Okay, great. Thank you all so much for being here and welcome to YVSC's internship closeout presentations for this fall. My name is Dakota Dolan and I'm the internship program manager as well as the Forest Resilience Projects manager with YVSC. And I'm so excited that this day is here to finally share the work of our 4 amazing interns that we had over this fall term. These 4 individuals started with YVSC and joined our team in the beginning of September, and they've been working for 12 weeks on their projects. At the onset of their time when they were first hired, they were paired with a staff mentor, and together they worked on a project concept that addressed one of our 5 main priority areas, which include waste diversion, resilient land and water, community education and engagement, energy, and transportation. And each of the projects that you see today are completely unique and different from one another. Each intern comes with their own set of skills, curiosities, and ambitions, and we try to match that with the needs of our organization in this moment. So we find it to be a very special and fulfilling experience for these interns that will hopefully push them forward in their careers in sustainability. So before we jump into the presentations themselves, I will have our executive director, Michelle Stewart, come up and just say a few words before starting.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being here on this very important celebration of phenomenal work. This is for YVSC staff and board. It's one of our favorite days of the year. It's a day when we get to really hear inspiration about the hard work that our interns have been doing. I will say that this group of 4 has been very stellar. So get ready to be really inspired and impressed. And this is what the work is. It's about coming together and really bringing our skills and capabilities, ideas, and then bringing them into the service of opportunities and actions on the ground. So Cody gave such a great overview of our internship program, but for YVSC, this is a very important investment that we're making. We really see this as being an important part of empowering the next generation of leaders that all of us need. And so we really look forward to hearing from you and learning from you. And we just really appreciate you being here. And our future leaders are those that we really look to as current partners in this work, and then of course, carrying the torch forward. I would like to acknowledge Cody's amazing leadership with the program. So our internship program, we do have a staff individual who is really serving as a primary point person, a mentor, a confidant, and someone that the interns can turn to for support and ideas as they continue to develop their projects. And Cody devotes a good portion of her time to that work and does such a nice job. So I think you'll really see that fingerprint of her leadership in the program today too, as you hear the presentation. So thank you, Cody, for all you do to lead the program. And before we get going, I just want to underline the importance of this type of work. I think particularly now at this time, the national trend, the message that is being told across the state and the nation is really the importance of investing locally and working together in the climate space. Everything that we do on the ground to reduce emissions, everything we do to build resilience actually makes a very important difference. And so as we hear your projects today, I want all of us to really keep in mind and be empowered by the investments that we are all collectively making in local actions on the ground at a time that it really, really matters. So without further ado, I want to welcome all of our interns. And again, thank you, Cody. It is such a pleasure to have you be part of the organization for the past 12 weeks. And as interns, you now get to have a lifetime relationship with us. So it's always really fun because we get to keep in touch with the interns, and we know that many of them will go on to great things. So thank you all. Enjoy the presentations, and thank you so much, Cody.
And next presenter is Erika Sexton. So welcome up to the stage, Erika.
Hi, everyone. I'm Erika. And my focus for my internship this fall was in community education and engagement. Specifically, I focused on youth involvement and civic participation and other sustainability initiatives. So a little bit about me. I'm a CMC student, and I'm currently majoring in both sustainability and business administration. To the side of that, I'm also the vice president for Student Government Association. We just had our annual casino night, which went really well. And I'm also a loving cat mom to my cat Macy And in my free time, I enjoy playing guitar and writing songs. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Michelle Stewart and Dakota. They make this internship possible for us to engage in and actually have participation for the sustainable realm. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Abby. She was my mentor for this fall, working in communications manager and strategist. Yeah. So I had kind of two parts to this internship. My first focus was on the 2024 Sustainability Candidate Forum. And for a little background on that, YVSC does this every year, more or less, depending on when an election is. And it's just mainly to inform our community on what politicians, their stance is on for sustainability and other environmental work. Another focus I had within the candidate forum is the knowledge that new voters might need help learning about voter registration and all of the processes that come along with that, as well as what the community might need to learn about. They might not know much about what a Route County Commissioner is, or what is on your ballot, or other propositions that are coming into effect and could be voted on. And I also, again, just knew that there was a big need for increased information about what the candidates do, who they are, and what their stances are on. So my objectives for this forum was to get new voters to register and explain the process to them. Also, just to encourage them to vote. I had the experience of voting for the first time, which is really exciting, and coming into this election year and encouraging people in my community and in my age demographic to get out and vote themselves, and my peers to go and do so. I also wanted to educate the community on the Route County Commissioner position, which I myself knew little about as well, and what their stances are environmentally. And I wanted to understand what our community cares about, what the youth care about environmentally, and what stances or concerns they have for environmental work. All right, so the first thing I did was create a survey for people to ask questions to the commissioners. I did a little bit of guerrilla marketing, you could say, going around running, hey, take my survey, do it, fill it out. And although that was slightly ineffective, I was able to put up posters around CMC. I also gave posters to Emma, who is one of our other interns, for her to put up throughout the high school. And I found that the biggest response was when I encouraged one of my past teachers, who is a teacher at the middle school, to have her students do that. I also created questions for the candidate forum based off of these responses. And then I created a blog explaining, again, the process it takes to register to vote. And I really wanted to make this accessible and down to earth and have it simplified, so you didn't have to go onto a different website and then read this and then get confused and find all this information. I just want it to be in one place, straightforward and easy for people to learn about and read. And then within this, what was really exciting about my resource blog is actually that it's the 5th most visited webpage on the YVSC website. Surprisingly enough, we had over 275 people view it within a 2-week time frame. And that was just really exciting. And then I also, again, helped create the poster, put it up, advertise the event, and created a thumbnail for the forum recording so people could access it afterwards. My survey results from this, my survey results, we had over 24 responses total. And some of the biggest takeaways from this was mainly an 8th grader population, but that they really cared about affordable housing. I was surprised how a demographic, middle school, was thinking so far ahead in the future and really worried about how the community was feeling, especially with Brown Ranch getting turned down earlier this year. And I also found that they really cared about recreational use, stuff like having a rec center for kids to go to, and people being able to get outside and be connected with nature and have access to it. They also really cared about river health and took note about how the Yampa River is seeing higher temperatures than we have in the past, and that they really cared about having access to more trails, both in hiking and biking, and also being able to enjoy the ski mountain. All right, and then my key takeaways from this is that people tend to be overwhelmed by surveys. It's kind of survey blindness. I feel like at least on the CMC campus, there's a lot of surveys everywhere. And so that can make it a little less effective and in encouraging people to partake in something. And then also that informal research is one of the most effective ways to learn about what people care about. If I was like, hey, take the survey and just handed it to them, I found it to be a lot less effective than trying to go up and start a conversation and be like, hey, so what do you think about river health? Just casual. No, just wondering. And that when I was able to engage with them on an emotional level, they really sparked up and got passionate about what they care about. And I'd also like to say that my blog post was really exciting to see the effect it had on our community. And because of its effect, I know that it will be used as a model for future blog posts in order to have as many people that can view it as possible. All right, so then on the second half of my internship, I did a make and take sustainable craft night. So for a little background, as a youth engagement and education intern, we're kind of encouraged to host some sort of event. And this gave me the ability to pair my passion for waste diversion with getting our community engaged. So I wanted to create an event that teaches people creative ways they can use materials, as well as the waste management constraints we have locally with being in a small mountain community and kind of a rural area. I wanted to teach people, individuals, that they can make change and that it is possible on the individual level. And then also how reusing materials reduces an environmental impact, conserves resources, and builds community. I also wanted to create a blog post to educate people on the importance of reusing materials with relevant data and also local solutions. And you can see my blog post there. So these are the pictures from the craft event. It went really well. We had over 30 people register and over 40 people show up, which was great numbers for a kind of casual event. I definitely learned that people are looking for something where they can connect with others and meet new people and learn something new. And I think there was a great need for having an area where they could do something sustainability focused without it feeling like a kind of scary or like crazy solution that might be a little less attainable to them. And excitingly enough, some people even took some of their supplies home after the event, not only the crafts they did make, but also the extra materials we had. So we got to have people turn old waste or recycled material and also have them take extra and do it themselves later on. So again, one of my key takeaways was just how much people have a need for a laid back and community-centered event and a place where they can come together and learn. And that also, funny enough, yep, food is a great motivator for college age students. When I was, for like 2 weeks straight, I was saying, hey guys, come to my event, it's gonna be fun, please, please. And everyone was like, oh, noted, okay. And then I was like, hey guys, we have pizza. And they're like, oh my God, pizza? Okay, I'll be there. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds great. Yeah, so those were my takeaways from the second half of my internship. And then I had a lot of other collaborations. I attended 2 out of the 3 Retree events we held this year, as well as created a TikTok video for them. I helped with setup for the YVSC soiree, as well as took a new updated team photo for everyone. I helped plan the ornament making. You can see the little Christmas tree in the back, but YVSC does a Christmas tree decorating competition. And so I was able to get all of the supplies for the Christmas tree decorating and then kind of help people spark some ideas for how we can decorate it. And I also was able to help create the Yampa Gives Day video, encourage people to donate to YVSC, as well as connect YVSC with CMC for their Stall Street Journal and other advertising opportunities. Additionally, other events I went to were the Winter Expo. I watched a CAP board meeting and also went to the CAP open house yesterday, took some photos for that, went to Mountain Tap trivia, and then all of our, the interns write a Next Generation Nation newsletter, and so I also did that. And so, so here are some of the photos from it. We have in the top right left, that was from Mountain Tap, and then there's some from the CAP open house, and then me and Emma at Retree, and again, a little Christmas tree. And then again, a big part of my internship on the side was being a photographer for YVSC. So here are some of my favorite photos I took. The top one on the left is actually used as the thumbnail for the soiree. And then a lot of them are from Retree and some of them are from the soiree. Okay, and then this is the TikTok video I made from Retree. And to preface this, this is used to connect with younger audiences. So you might hear some terms you don't know. And this just helps viewers emotionally connect to YVSC. So let's see if it works. That was really fun to make, and it was exciting to come up with scripts and pull people from Retree and say like, hey, just say this, don't ask questions. All right, and then my personal takeaways from this entire internship. I definitely improved my professional writing skills. Before, I was quite nervous to write emails, and sometimes I'd admit it would take me like 30 minutes to have a 2-sentence reply. And I saw a big growth in that factor. Towards the end of the internship, I felt like I could reply within like 5 minutes or less, just get it done, get it sent. I also learned the differences between content and marketing for nonprofit or an organization versus a personal page. YVSC has a brand that you need to adhere to. So I did have some fun, crazy ideas for TikToks, but they just weren't appropriate in what we were trying to go for. I also improved my networking capabilities. I got to go to so many events and talk to so many new people that I would have never had I not gone to the event and been a part of it. So that was exciting. And then I also got to hear so many different backgrounds about how people got into the environmental field, which was really reassuring for me. I've been like, oh, college, I know I need to do it. And just the nerve around that, and hearing all of the YVSC staff come in and share their story and how they got into the field was really inspiring. We had our guest speaker, Gail Gary, and also Angelica Salinas come in. And personally, I want to go into politics in the future. So being able to hear from them was incredibly inspiring and helpful, and it was great to ask questions to them and hear more about what it means to be in politics locally. And then I definitely learned some expectations for the differences between work and school. There's a little difference between like deadlines and stuff like that and what it means to continue your work and do it. And I improved my understanding of what it takes to be successful in managing multiple projects. There were so many things I wanted to do this fall, and I definitely had to be selective about where I put my time and what I worked on. And then I improved my time management and executive functioning skills. I must admit, I did overcommit a little bit this semester, but again, I'm just so passionate and I want to do a lot. So I learned about that it's better to focus on one thing and really work hard and do well on that than trying to do everything and be a jack of all trades. And I'd like to give, oh no, you're good. I'd like to give a huge thank you to Lift Up and Little Shop of Growers for the craft night. I was able to get materials for one of the craft stations from Lift Up, and without them, we wouldn't have been able to put in that reusing materials aspect for it. I went to Little Shop of Growers to try and get seeds for a seed bomb craft. Unfortunately, because of us going into winter, wasn't that feasible to focus on a plant-based thing, but it was great to talk to the owner of Little Shop of Growers and hear more about locally what you can do with gardening. And then I reached out to a Stitch in Time. They're a local seamstress in town, and I asked them if they would be willing to teach skills with mending clothes and small quick repairs. Unfortunately, they were not able to attend the event, but it was great making that connection with them. And then also Emma, Shay, the other Shay, Quinn and Janie were all volunteers at the event. So we have Emma, who's our intern. Shay Spear, she is the co-president of Eco Club. And then Shay Holster is is a CMC student. And then Quinn is a high school student. And Janie is also a member of Eco Club. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to make the craft night a success, which it was. And really rewarding to, again, connect with local peers and people my age and talk to them. And then I'd like to give a shout out to Michelle Stewart. I had an assignment for one of my classes where I needed to reach out to someone who was working on sustainability initiatives and learn more about their definition. So I give props to her for that because I got that assignment done because of her. And then I'd like to give a shout out as well to Miss McCannon. She is the middle school teacher who gave the survey to the 8th graders, and I got responses through that. Yeah. So that's my presentation. And now I'd like to turn it over to you and see, does anyone have questions? Yeah, Abby?
Well, it's been so nice working with you. I love all of your ideas. And I think, I don't know, it's just so cool to see you grow. And also, I feel like I learned so much from you. And on that, my question is, what advice do you have for people who are already in the professional world or older people to kind of incorporate the ideas of younger people in their projects?
I really love that question. And I think it comes back to what themes you can draw from sustainability and apply that to having new people come into the sustainability field. So as I've been discovering what my definition of sustainability means, I've learned that it's always fluid and changing. And I think that a really big a key thing to think about there is that in order to change, you need to be willing to. And if you have young people who have a different perspective, you can kind of take note of that and see, oh, hey, that's what sustainability is showing up for them. Maybe it's true, and maybe we could find some innovation there. I think another great thing that young people bring forward is how many new ideas they do have, and that a lot of the work sustainability-wise requires innovation and regenerative principles that they might be able to think about versus if you've been working on something a long time, I think you can get a little hyper-focused and kind of just in the ways of how it goes. And so having someone talk new ideas can re-inspire you. So just encouraging different voices and perspectives not only will help you help that other person, but also help your community and what it means to be sustainable. Yeah, Michelle.
Great job, really great presentation, and such a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
I will also underline the success, so the educational information about your blog and the information about the Broward County Commissioner Candidate Sustainability Forum. I have shared that out with the Executive Director Roundtable, and all of them used it as an opportunity to educate through their networks as well. And so that was a really wonderful resource to create and was really valued during the term. And then also we as YVSC staff, we reflected on the success of the craft night because it brought families, so like working families with kids, and then high school students and college kids were like, I don't think we've ever had an event that brings that those groups together. So it really was just an underlining of the ways in which. And so my question is, given your interest in engaging with local politics and the work that you've done through this term, what do you see as your personal recommendations for effective communication or effective engagement strategies that you would give to students or that you would give to new coworkers? What are some of the tricks of that?
Thanks for the question. I think a big thing that we're learning with sustainability is the importance of education and awareness. And I think that comes from having an emotional connection. You can tell someone to do something, or that makes sense logically, or maybe it doesn't make sense logically. But at the end of the day, I think humans are emotional creatures. And when you are connected to something or some passion or organization, movement, whatever it is, you are going to be so much more likely to work towards whatever it is you're working towards. Yeah, I think definitely having a connection amongst other people and also a connection to place. One of the biggest things I learned was how important from an early age, like as soon as you're born, definitely in your developmental years and young childhood, to go outside and be outdoors and see all that nature has to offer. And I think we're learning that a lot. And I think Colorado, definitely, we have so many opportunities to get outside, but encouraging people in other places who might not have the access or the time to go outside and see the beauty of life will also help them have a stronger connection and a deeper wanting to protect this wonderful world we live in. Any other questions?